Hi there, I'm Matthew R. Kerns, President and Artistic Director of St. Lou Fringe. We are here today in our Unjured podcast talking about STLFringe FEST 26, our 15th anniversary year, where we will cross having created, produced, and or presented over 700 shows. And we are here with my friend Mollie Amburgey today. Hi, Mollie.
Hi, I
Good to
love that I'm a
see you.
friend. This is
Of
great.
course, always.
Yes.
Welcome. We're
Thank
glad to
you.
have you back at the festival this year.
Yes.
And I want to start with the question. We're doing a comedy night. Yes,
Yes.
for sure. Focusing on female comics.
Women in
St.
comedy.
Louis.
Yep, you got
St.
it.
Louis specific or regional?
So we have St. Louis, and then we do have a couple of comedians who kind of maybe bounce through Chicago
Great.
as well, because it's close. So what's nice is we have St. Louis and Chicago, so it's just a good representation of the Midwest. Yes.
Wonderful. So talk to me about artistry, because you started as a theater artist.
I did.
And you landed in this comedy world. So tell me about that.
Yes. Oh, thank you for asking. So it's interesting. I grew up in the theater. I did dance, plays, all the things, and I loved producing and directing and writing my own plays as well. So the Fringe is very much resonating through my heart because it gives you the freedom to do what you want to do when you're producing things. And the very first play I ever produced was Old Wounds. It was a 30-minute one-act play in the Moonrise Hotel. And it was a breakup play over Valentine's Day weekend. So, but I couldn't believe we sold out. And it's very easy to sell it. But we had the show in a hotel room. We had, different news people come in from that time. And it was very fun. So the Fringe, I was a volunteer. I got to have my own plays, that were after volunteering after a while and getting to know Matt in the Kransberg, which was a really cool opportunity to do in the gallery and the black box. But I really fell in love with comedy really because of the women that were in
Yeah.
comedy. And I went through a breakup, which is usually how these things happen. And I was watching a comedy special at the time called Women Who Kill. And you can just imagine at 25, I was like, oh my God, I want to kill. I want to murder. Who was it? It was like Nikki Glazer, Amy Schumer, Rachel Feinstein, and all these really good people.
Yeah.
So that's why I chose the Fringe, which you graciously allow me to do, which is awesome, to bring women in comedy to the forefront. So we did it at Schlafly in their new event space, which was awesome. And then now I'm really excited for Hidden Gems, Golden Gems, because it's another female-founded business. Yeah, so it's great. Yes,
It was a perfect matchup. Tell me the official name of the show.
Oh, sure. That would also be important, wouldn't it? Yeah. So This Is Casually Happening and honoring women in comedy. This Is Casually Happening came from the Casually Molly podcast that I've taken just a minor hiatus for, but it will come back. And I thought it was a good branding name because people always say, where are your shows? Where do you do? What's your schedule? And I'm like, well, this is casually happening at the Fringe Festival at this date. Yeah. So
Just
it's more of a
casually.
marketing ploy. Yes.
Why this particular, okay, let me ask this question a little
Yes.
differently.
Mhm.
With your comedy, with your personal stand-up,
Yeah.
where are we at right now? What are we talking about? What are we thinking about?
Absolutely. So what I love about comedy is you get to really take your authentic self. And obviously with theater, it's very cool, right? Because you have a script and you're following, you don't get to break the fourth wall. But with comedy, you really, what I like, at least for me, some people may not be this way, but I like to bond with the audience.
Yep.
And I've been telling Matt before we were doing this, I went through a hell of a 2 years. I lost my dad. And then right after a year of grieving my dad's death, I ended up getting a separation and then now a divorce from my ex-husband. And I think those two instances back to back could be something that could destroy you and be very depressing. And believe me, I have had days where I've grieved and I've cried in my room and all these things. But what I wanted to do instead is what's never left me is art and comedy.
Yeah.
And so what I did was several months into my separation, I started doing material about it. And then it was the same thing. Several months after my dad died, I started doing material about that. And it's been very interesting and really rewarding for me to be able to, beforehand, I was always like, oh, I'm happy-go-lucky Molly. And everybody's like, oh, we love her because she's bubbly. But being able to also resonate comedy with also grief and trauma and normalizing that for people, that it's okay to, sometimes you just turn around, you're like, all I can do is laugh. So putting that into art for me has been great. And the women that I'm bringing in have also had different life experiences as well at different ages of life. And that's what's really beautiful about comedy.
And so I agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
Hmm.
my puppet, Tiny Quarterman, was born out of tragedy.
See, there you go.
My sister had a very massive heart attack and died at 52 out of the blue.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear
And
that. Yeah.
thank you. And what I realized is every day is precious,
Mm-hmm.
and
1000%.
to savor it and make every day as the most important day.
Yeah.
And I told Sean, my husband, for those listeners, we're about to make a really expensive puppet because
I love
because
that
I've
though.
loved puppetry my whole life and I've
That's so
always wanted to do it.
cool.
And
Yeah.
so we worked with Randy Carfagno out of New York and we made Tiny.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. See, you get it. And
I
it's a
it
coping
it
mechanism,
was
but it
that
bonds.
moment though
Mm-hmm.
that made me get it. It
Yes.
really is because our dad died years before,
Yeah.
and it was like my sister being that close to my age and being that
Uh-huh.
like my sibling, like
Mm-hmm.
suddenly not being here. I woke up and went, "Wow, it's really short.
Yeah.
It's really precious, and
Yep.
we got to savor every moment of it."
Mm-hmm.
So I get it.
So I get you too.
Yeah,
Yes.
we see each
Aw.
other.
We see each other.
Oh,
Oh, I
Molly.
love that. Through all, and that's exactly that's
Yeah,
art. Like Matt and I have seen each other through all phases
we
of life
have.
now. I love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's been the process for writing these?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I will tell you, I was very fortunate. I wanted to try out, especially with my separation divorce material, I wanted to try that out in a separate space. So I had the pleasure of going to LA for a week in January. And I wanted to go somewhere where no one knew my situation
Yep.
or I mean, not that anybody would have judged or been unkind, but I just was like, let me see how this resonates with people who don't even
It's
know
just
who I
different
am.
with strangers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I remember doing it. My friend Yang, who did the Flyover Comedy Festival, that's how we met when we were both in it.
Yeah.
She took me to this open mic, and it was the first time I ever did the material. And I remember it was so rewarding. People like, it was funny. I just went, I'm here to report, I'm divorced or I'm separated at the time. I couldn't even remember what I'm saying at this point, but people started clapping and laughing and coming up to me afterwards and being like, yeah, like, what's so great about that is it's sharp, but it's honest,
Yeah.
and that's what, because I didn't want to, stand up and complain or be unkind. It's just more of like, hey, it's just, this is about me and what's happening to me. This
Yep.
isn't, this is just what I'm experiencing. And so that's how I kind of think of it, as from that perspective, like what is going on in my brain right now that I can translate to the audience that's relatable. And so that's what like, having that experience and seeing it in front of strangers is how I even do it for people in front of me. It's like, you
Yeah.
even know me. Here's a side of my brain you might not know that I'm going to
And
show you.
this is
Yeah.
leading into the next question, which is
Yeah.
what do you want the audience? Is there a takeaway you want them to have?
Oh my gosh. So yes. So basically, like I said, we're gonna have different women from different walks of life, different experiences, different age groups, and I just want everybody to feel seen. A part of comedy is that it's subjective, which is very much similar to the Fringe Festival.
Yeah.
Is that you're going to have certain people who love comedy and improv, or they love performance art, or they
Yep.
love dance. And the whole point of the festival, right, is that you come to be seen for what you enjoy being a part of, and vice
Totally.
versa for the performers. So that's what I just want people to come and see, these very talented women who work tirelessly. Like I see them at open mics and showcases. And sometimes, like, these open mics have two people in a room, but they're
Yeah.
murdering for two people in a room. But that's the whole point. You have to do every room, whether it's a sold out show at the Funny Bone or it's a two mic, a 2-person open mic somewhere in a bar. All of those experiences incorporate what that is. And so
Yeah.
that's what we do, is we want us to feel seen and for you to feel seen. And so I feel like that's the depth.
And that's
Mhm.
very much the Fringe.
Yeah.
Some of the most brilliant performances have happened with 4 people in the room watching it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're like trying to get so many more people there, and then they come back 2 years later and that room is full because we've introduced those few people
Yes.
and they've went and told people, and it just builds the audience, which is part of what our mission is for the
Mhm.
artists that come and work in
Yeah.
our festival. Given that it's 15 years, given that it's 700 shows that we're about to do, what's your advice to an artist who's stuck? An artist who has something to say, but they're like, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know how to do that. What do you think?
It's so interesting, because I used to ask the same thing. What's your advice to a comedian who's starting out? And it would be
Yeah.
like literally the same thing. Comedians, they all said this, like, do every room, write every day, all the things. But what I will tell you is there are definitely times, right? Like, where I'll go even back to me and my brain and how I use, where you're like, oh my God, I'm going through trauma. Like, how is this going to be entertaining for people? Who's going to want to watch this? And I feel like all I can really say is be authentically yourself.
Yeah.
I know it's a very kind of like cheesy line to be like, but I feel like when you are authentically you, people be able to resonate with you more. If you're
Yeah.
pretending to be somebody you're not, and that's something that I try not to be, like I just go, well, like sometimes, especially too when you hit rock bottom, you're like, oh, I'm stuck. And you know what? I'm just gonna throw everything in the air. Like I pretend I'm throwing like throw pillows or whatever you want to call it and be like, all right, this is just it. This is what I'm gonna
Yeah.
do. And use those moments of being stuck or confused or lost to take you on the journey that you're supposed to be on. Because
Cool.
I can tell you when I was first separated from my husband, I was very, very lost. And the same thing with my dad. And by using those experiences to not belittle, you know, the experience I was having, but also use it to build and grow from it, has helped me with my artistry and my work. So,
That's fantastic
yes.
advice and true. And sometimes it's just hard to be authentic.
Hmm.
We don't, the world does not teach us to be authentic. It
Yeah.
teaches us to hide.
Vulnerability is hard, believe me.
It
That's
is
why
the
I'm going to
hardest
live
thing.
therapy working on that. Yeah.
Yep. It is hard. It is so hard,
Yeah.
but it's great advice.
Hmm.
Anything this year that you're wanting to see at the festival?
Oh my gosh. So I am really excited for STL tonight. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I've
those
been able
guys
to
are
be a part
great.
of it. Yes.
Yeah.
I love the guys that put it together, Andrew Gieselman and Teal Pierce. They're great
Yep.
people. Also my other fellow comedians, Brandon Judd has Brandon Judd who's going to do
Yes.
everything. I love this new chapter he's going on and doing magic and all this fun stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a lot. I mean, Chris Sear, he's doing
Yeah.
his. Chris Sear's a dear, dear friend of mine. I remember when he did his podcast at Midcoast. So when I first started comedy, Chris Sear was kind of like the godfather that was like, all right, you little grasshopper, let's get
Yeah.
you,
Right.
let's get you. So it's cool that it's really cool to see a lot of comedians doing their own version of their work
Yep.
in comedy. And what's really cool about at least St. Louis, I can't speak for anywhere else, but St. Louis, we're all friends and we all support each other.
That's
So
right.
even in that call that we had where everybody was introducing, we were all in the chat being like, Brandon Judd, Chris Sear, Mollie Amburgey.
I
Like,
love it.
it's great. So I'm very excited for
It's a
that.
great
Mhm.
community. Be sure. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
hanging out and chatting. Be sure to check out STL Fringe Fest August 3rd through 9th here in the beautiful Grand Center Arts District and all of our fantastic Kransberg venues. And also at the Golden and Hidden Gem this year, too. So join us there. We are so excited. 15 years, over 700 shows this year. STLFringe.org gets you a ticket to everything. See you then.